Not that I am that good at it by any means. I'm honestly fairly new into it, and I have not a ton of experience. And I really, at this point, only kind of have firearms and ammunition into it. But prepping, I'm kind of really wanting to get into prepping and training, things of that nature. But anyways, it's a Friday night, and I am wide awake and I can't sleep, and I have been watching some prepping videos and just thinking in bed like we all do at night, probably why half of us can't ever sleep. But a question that comes up pretty routinely is how much ammo, for shit hit the fan or without rule of law, whatever, zombie apocalypse. That's kind of a topic that I really am intrigued by and have been kind of defining myself. So this will vary between person to person. I mean, there's no correct answer. This is just what I think and what I feel. It depends on how many people you have with you, how many different rifles and calibers. But I am, unfortunately, I can't get anyone on the bandwagon with me to start prepping and get into firearms and food storage and stuff like that. I mean, all my friends are into guns and everything, but not like I am. Anyway, so this is just for me personally. This is just me by myself. And I'll break down each caliber and how many guns or whatever I have and usage for them. So I'm going to start out with my first. Yes, I have steel-cased ammo for my AR-15s. I can get this for, I think, $7.50 a box at a store here in my local town. And I just cannot beat the price. If I eat up extractors and swap extractors every now and then, it's worth it to me. This stuff is so cheap, and my guns run it very accurately. I'm not sharp shooting long distances with this stuff. It'll get the job done. Anyway, so 5.56, 223. This is a 223 in particular. I run ARs. That's my go-to rifle, my shit hit the fan rifle, whatever. But I've, really been thinking about this and how much, if the shit were truly to hit the fan tomorrow morning when I woke up, how much ammo would I want to have? I mean, we all would want thousands upon thousands of rounds, but we got to be realistic here. Depending on funds, availability, there's a lot of variance. But like I said, this is just for me. This isn't for a group. 1,000 rounds minimum. That's my minimum. Ideally, I would like to have 2,000 rounds that I always have, and then, get 500 to 600 rounds for play and practice. And then once that 500 runs out, I got to restock in it. I can't be taken out of the funds, except I will rotate ammo when I get new ammo. And you take some of the older stuff to shoot, so you keep cycling your ammo. So 2,000 rounds, 5.56. I think that's a pretty, that's a good amount for one person. The way I look at it is you're not ever looking to get into any engagements with anybody. If you're looking to go out and get in engagements, you're going to find them. And you know what? Your odds of surviving are going to go down. People think they're a Navy SEAL and they're just trained. We're not all G.I. Joes, and you want to avoid gunfights, in my opinion. Anyway, 2,000 rounds of 5.56. All right, I guess I'll do all my rifles first. I have a 30-06. Matter of fact, the rifle for this particular 30-06, I've had it since I was in 7th or 8th grade. So, I've had this rifle. This rifle's killed a lot of big game. This isn't my primary hunting rifle anymore, but I like it, and I like 30-06 for shit hit the fan as a caliber to have around, because it's still a very, very popular, very common cartridge. And I live in a Midwest, North Midwest area of the States where there's lots of hunters, and 30-06 is still common. So even for when the shit hits the fan, you could scavenge this ammo. You can find it. You'll be able to find it. Same with the 5.56 223. But tried and true bullet. I mean, I love this. I'll never get rid of that gun anyways. It's so nostalgic to me. But since this is not my primary weapon, hunting rifle, 150 rounds I feel like would be good. 250 probably be better. But like I said, this isn't my primary hunting rifle. It would just be a secondary. So yeah, I mean even 100, but 150 to 250 would be ideal for that. Then we got the old 308. I had a 6.5 Creedmoor and I sold it and went to a 308. I figured the ballistics are similar enough, and this has got more knockdown to it. And when I hunt, I'm not shooting animals honestly beyond 350 yards. I just don't think it's ethical. I don't know. That's a whole other topic. But so this would be my primary hunting cartridge round, I guess you would say. I mean, I can hunt with the 5.56 too, as well. But 250 rounds. That's what I'm working at. I don't have that yet with this caliber, but that's what I'm going for as a goal. Yeah, I wouldn't use it a ton. This would be for shooting deer and elk or whatever, for food. Like a sniper role, I guess you could say. I really don't want to come across as military. I'm not in the military. I have no experience, but I'm just thinking as a whole, and without rule of law, the world is, as we know it, is over. What you can do with these tools. And so I feel like this is an effective round for hunting, but it could also be used for, I hate to say self-defense, because if you're sniping, you're not really in self-defense. But you know what I'm saying. So at least a couple hundred. I want 250 rounds of the 308. By the way, the 5.56 223, those are 55 grain Tulas. The 30-06 and the 308 are federal non-typical 150 grain. And then everyone's favorite prepping cartridge, the 22 long rifle. If you have done any research at all into prepping, this is the cat's meow right here. And I have to say I agree. Now, I would not choose this if I were to only choose one cartridge and rifle setup, I would not choose this. I would stick with the 223. But this right here, you can kill more than you would think with this. I mean, if you had to, you could kill deer, you could kill medium-sized game, you could even kill people with it if you had to in a God forbid type situation. I don't remember what grain these little guys are, but they're just some federal hollow point 22. For me, I have an assortment of hollow points and full metal jackets. The full metal jackets can be a little more productive if you're attempting to hunt for food that's a larger game. These little hollow points, they're going to expand and not have a whole lot of penetration. Where you get those full metal jacketed rounds, you can actually get some penetration. Shot placement is going to be extremely important if you're hunting, game much bigger than rabbits with the 22. Another positive thing is, I could throw 700 rounds of that in my backpack and it really wouldn't weigh me down much compared to throwing 700 rounds of, heck, even 9mm. You can carry a lot of ammunition. It's cheap. It's affordable. You can stock up on it. I think this is probably one of the most vital cartridges you can get. Another positive. You're hunting, you're trying to stay undetected as low-key as possible. This is not a very loud cartridge, especially if you can get suppressed. And then if you're lucky enough to have it suppressed and get subsonic ammunition, it's as loud as a pellet rifle. It's amazing. I wouldn't know from experience, unfortunately. I don't like paying the ATF any money because, fuck the ATF. But couple thousand rounds of 22 long rifle. I mean, that will go a long ways for hunting. You can hunt everything from rabbits to deer with this. I mean, if you're really a good shooter and you get close enough, you could get an elk with it. I'm not saying it would be ideal, but you could do it. So yeah, the 22 long rifle, a couple thousand rounds, more the better with that. Um, so that's those four are the 4 cartridges that I have in rifles. And then I only have 2 different pistol cartridges. Start with the 10 millimeter here. 10 millimeter is not cheap. It is not cheap. To be fully honest with you, if the shit really truly hit the fan, it would become very unimportant to me. Because currently all I have a 10 millimeter for is bear defense when I'm out hunting, fishing, hiking. I live where there's grizzly bears and black bears and mountain lions and wolves, and I carry a 10 millimeter with depending on either 180 grain hollow point buffalo bore or the 220 grain hard nose for big game defense, self-defense. But anyway, I love 10 millimeter. It is a great cartridge. It's a powerful cartridge. I love it. So, like I said, I'm not going to put a lot of emphasis on this. If you have one, I want this, for my particular setup, this is going to be the caliber of least importance to me. And that's not taking anything away against from the round. It's just, well, one, ammo availability. You're not going to be able to scavenge much of this ammo. It's not, I mean, it's become increasingly popular, but nothing close to your 9 millimeters, your 45s, even your 40 cal. So, I mean, this is like just a bear defense. Now, you know, if shit does hit the fan, I still have my 10 millimeter and some big game loads. I would 100% still put it to work when I'm out hunting and fishing and gathering food. I mean, like I said, I live where there's a lot of grizzly bears. So it would still get used. For that, I'm going to want, if I can, 100 rounds of some kind of big game defense ammunition, and then maybe 100 or 2 of, you know, just your basic full metal jacket ammo. Like I said, though, it's the least important to me as far as hitting the fan, although it is my favorite. So, and then on to the last, good old 9 millimeter. You're going to be able to, well, I guess I will say one thing is you don't ever want to rely on salvaging or scavenging. That's a really bad way to go into prepping. And like I said, I'm new at this, but that seems to be a fairly common thing is you want to make sure you have stuff. Scavenging along the way is just a bonus. But 9 millimeter, and for my 9 millimeter, outside of my concealed carry, I do run hollow points in that. Other than that, I don't care. I will run full metal jackets in my pistols. And, you know, without rule of law type situation, I don't care. I'll poke holes through anyone who's shooting at me with a full metal jacket. I don't care. Like I said, though, availability, prices have gotten fairly reasonable again. You can find it anywhere. You can stock up on it. 2,000 rounds. I think that's a pretty good goal to get to. You know, make sure, like any of these calibers, make sure you have a buffer room of a certain amount to keep shooting and practicing with, because you got to keep shooting. Shooting is a perishable skill. If you don't keep at it, your quality will decrease. But 2,000 rounds, and then, you know, try to keep resupplying 500, you know, every so often, depending on how much you shoot, to keep shooting. But 2,000 rounds of that. So, yeah, those are the calibers that I use. And I'm stocking up on, and, you know, which ones I find more important than others. But I guess one other thing I will also add to that is magazines. Okay, probably for pistols, the best pistols you can get for shit hit the fan scenarios is Glocks, because Glock mags are everywhere, and you can scavenge them. Tons of people have them. So I'm not a Glock guy, but I will say that. But let's say you have one pistol, an AR-15, you know, a 22 and a rifle. Like, well, the 22, a few magazines. Your main pistol, 6 or 7 probably would be a good amount. Try to get more. And your AR-15 magazines per rifle, 15 mags. I mean, they're not going to last forever. And the good thing about them is you can interchange parts I just happen to have a PMag sitting here. But mags. Now, like my hunting rifles, currently I only have 2 for my 30-06 and 1 for my 308. I should probably get a few more for my 308, a couple more for my 30-06. And the 10 mil I got 2. Could probably go for getting 1 or 2 more. But magazines are also very vital and something I think people kind of forget to think about. And they're not as fun to buy, you know. But anyways, yeah. Any thoughts you guys have? Things you think I'm doing wrong or right or whatever, or what kind of calibers you guys have and what you're using? Feel free to drop it down in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. One last thing I want to add, and I got to give credit where credit is due. This is I got this from over at Bear Independent, TJ over there. It was how much ammo for shit hit the fan, and he said all the ammo, always, all the time. So the correct answer is all the ammo, always, all the time.